Today's warm-up is again on writing expressions, substituting in for the variable, and then simplifying those expressions. Again, our setup is the same. We are given some information here. We're going to be writing the expressions, and then we're going to be substituting into those expressions. So this, at first glance, seems like what we've been doing. However, what we've been used to is the fact when there's 1, 2, 3 three bullets, 3 pieces of information, we've been writing 3 let statements. The difference here is that once we start to read this, we notice that our first statement tells us that John ate twice as many cookies as Nicole. In all the ones that we've been doing, we started with a statement something like Nicole ate some cookies. We didn't do that here. So we have to deduce who we're going to start with. Which person don't we know first? John ate twice as many cookies as Nicole. Well, the easiest way to go about this would be to start with Nicole. So my very first let statement, my very first expression is going to start with Nicole, and it's going to say let x equal the number of cookies Nicole ate. And we know that the word twice tells us that we're doubling something. When we double something, we multiply it by 2. We know that when we're now in 7th grade and we're using algebra, we don't use a star or an x for multiplication. We're simply going to put the number next to the variable. So 2x, and we know that that means multiplication. So let 2x equal the number of cookies that John ate. And then from here on out, this really is going to look like all of the rest of the expression writing that we've been doing so far. So we know that Clay ate 6 more than Nicole. So the first thing we need to say is how many did Nicole eat? Well, our let statement, this is how many Nicole ate. Right here is x. So we're going to start with x. And Clay ate 6 more. More tells me to add. So it's let x plus 6 equal the number of cookies that Clay ate. And then the last one we have is that Rocco ate twice. Well, we already had it twice. So is it going to be the same? Twice as many as Clay. Well, up here, John ate twice as many as Nicole. So it's not the same. We need to make sure we pay attention to that. I've noticed in some of your warm-ups that some of you see the word twice and you think it's exactly the same. You have to read the entire bullet, all of the information that's given. So Rocco ate twice as many cookies as Clay. So we need to go back and see how many Clay ate. Here it is right here. The reason we have our let statements, because this tells us that this one's about Clay. Clay ate x plus 6. Now I know I'm going to be multiplying that times 2 because it's twice. Now I need to think about what happens first. Well, this happens first. Clay's happens first. So therefore this has to go in parentheses. Again, we're in 7th grade. We don't need to write x's or stars or anything else other than to put that 2 right in front of the parentheses. And I'm hoping that you remember how we say those parentheses. The proper mathematical way to say this is 2 times the quantity of x plus 6. And that, of course, is equal to the number of cookies Rocco ate. So we've written our 4 expressions, one for each of the people that were lucky enough to eat cookies. So there's one expression. We've got x, we've got 2x, we've got x plus 6, and then we've got 2 times the quantity of x plus 6. The last thing we find out is that Nicole ate 5 cookies, right? So just like everyone we've done, we're going to set up a nice organized chart. We're going to list all of the people that we have with their expressions. So remember that Nicole ate x. John ate 2x. Next we have Clay. Clay had x plus 6. And then finally we have Rocco we have Rocco, and he ate 2 times the quantity of x plus 6. Now remember, we separate our expressions. You see how each expression is exactly from my let statements. We're going to separate those with a semicolon. And we know that Nicole ate 5 cookies. Well, remember, that was our x. So therefore, x equals 5. And every single one of these looks the same every time we do this. Some of you are writing some crazy things in your warm-ups, so hopefully you start to really pay attention to what we're doing here and use this format. It makes it very, very organized and very easy to follow. So now we're going to substitute in and solve. Nicole's, of course, is very simple because it's only x. Nicole ate 5 cookies. Don't forget to put those labels on. Next, we're substituting in. We remember that 2x means 2 times x, or 2 times 5 in this case. 2 times 5 is 10 cookies. Notice I'm showing my substitutions, showing my work, all of it, all the time. Clay is x plus 6. I substitute in for the variable x. I have 5. Got 5 plus 6. I know that 5 plus 6 is 11 cookies. And then finally we have Rocco. Rocco has 2 times the quantity of x plus 6. X is 5. So I got 2 times the quantity of 5 plus 6. My order of operations tells me I do what's inside parentheses first. I'm going to ignore this. 5 times 6 I know is 11. 2 next to parentheses means I multiply it, so I've got 2 times 11, and 2 times 11 is 22 cookies. Wow, Rocco must be really full after eating all those cookies. Maybe they weren't big cookies. Doesn't really matter. We have all of our answers here. Nicole ate 5 cookies. John ate 10 cookies. Clay ate 11 cookies. And Rocco ate 22 cookies. Wow. Okay, so there you have it. And we've written more expressions, substituted in for the variable, and simplified those expressions.